So hello, and I'm going to bring you a game first, and also I'm going to bring you chess position. So I'm waiting to see. I should really hit it up with chess problem for you. So I'm going to go live on what is it now? Chess. I'm going to go live on Chess, and I just want to go over. I want to go over this chess position I've made up. No, I haven't made it up. It's out of my book. So I want to go over this. So I'm going to just show you my last game. That I just played. So I'm just going to show that. Where is it? Profile. That will help. And here is this game I've just played. And so I wish to share this with you. And so I'm going to just show this game. My opponent is Ahmad 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 3 4 5. That's an interesting name. So my opponent went for me. My opponent went all out for me. And so here I go. I'm going to share this on YouTube, on my YouTube chess channel. I'm going to share this game. As you can see, the tournament is still in process. I'll see if I can go Zen mode, because where's Zen mode now? So Zen mode, and then I can close off all this stuff. But so I hope someone comes on board and has a look at this game, because it's quite worthwhile to have a look at. So I'm going to share this on YouTube. So hi viewer. So here I go. This is a game I've just played just a few moments ago. So I'm just going to share this, and I'm also going to set up a problem that is out of a book called The Advanced Chess Problems and How to Solve Them. And I need help. Everyone needs help in chess, unless you're better than me, which I'm not very good. So I'm just joking, but I'm not bad. So here we go. This is this game I've just played like 2 minutes ago. So this is more to do with kind of looking at the position and thinking what to do, because black's already attacked me quite violently, if that's an inappropriate word or inappropriate word to use. Black's actually sort of like attacked me quite strongly here. So I played b4, which is a bit naughty. Knight g6 is now hitting my f4 pawn, of course. So I have to start looking after it. All of a sudden I have to start looking after it. So I do. I play knight b3, and then black plays bishop d6. And you can have a look at the score on the side of, on the right of your vision. You can have a look at what I played. Whether that's the best move or not, I don't know. But I here redeploy my knight, and I'm also looking at defending f4, which is a very important pawn. I mean, this pawn asks me often, please look after me next time. Don't leave me lying around just to be taken next move by the opponent, because then I just go into the dark box, or I go back into the chess box, or whatever I do. So here is knight e1, and now notice that now black is now attacking the queen, bishop and knight are all hammering my f4 pawn, and it's very easy to just here play here g3, because after g3 white will probably get met with h4 given the sort of nature of my opponent. So I now play knight d3, which is also looking at this nice soft spot for a knight. The knight can go to here quite nicely. Okay, these knights are looking quite nicely. And notice that if black removes one of the defenders now on d3 of f4 pawn, then merely just bishop takes d3, or maybe even a queen. Maybe even a queen takes, threatens now knight g6. But I have just noticed that white could be met with knight f4. Okay, so that being said, I'm sort of pseudo defending f4 as it can be lifted, but I think that at the end of the day it's going to result in the king being checked on g6 after a catch on d3. Okay, so moving on is castling long. I sort of expected that. So here comes knight dc5, knight bc5, could play knight dc5. Now the threat is not anymore there because I could just take this. Okay, I can just take this, and after knight f4, then I have bishop f4, bishop f4. Okay, if you're with me, that's good. Knight e6. Okay, so knight e6 is looking a little bit tender, not too bad, but a little bit tender for black. Bishop h2 will follow, king h1, and the knight's too far away to enter into g3 or something like that. Okay, getting rid of the arrows. So here's knight bc5, and here comes a move that I think was a mistake. I think it's a mistake, it might not be, but b6 occurred. So here in this position now, I've got a chance to either move it or lose it. Move it or lose it. And so I move it. And I move it into black's camp. I do not play knight e6, although I can. I can actually play knight takes e6 and f5, but I chose knight a6. This, of course, attacks the queen, and as well as that, so queen b7. So without looking at the scoreboard on the right side, what's the sort of move that you would play here for white? What is the sort of move that you'd think of playing here? And this sort of ties up black quite considerably throughout the whole game, or the rest of the game. So what's the sort of move you're going to play here? I'm glad you found it, is knight dc5. And after this capture now bc5, then I play just merely bc5. Now, as you would appreciate, now the bishop is defending knight a6 from capture. It also threatens other things too. But I cannot just merely play rook b1 because of two things, queen b1 and bishop b1. So that's a little bit of a kind of a problem for me in this game, how to generate that sort of thing from happening. So I'm looking to inhibit black's game with all the arrows. They're probably going to be very confused. I'm looking to inhibit black's game. So here comes bishop e7, and here I go, bring my queen out there because she looks like she wants to go out there. Queen a4. Now this might be with just the idea of knight back here, and then we're threatening bishop a6, pinning the queen to the king on the back cushion, And of course, black would probably respond with knight b4, cb4, and then all of a sudden, these pawns are starting to march, aren't they? These pawns are starting to be quite a strong bastion or a strong situation for white. So it's very clear to me that this position on the queen side, where the king is castled, is difficult, and that, by the way, is one of my favourite things in chess. One of my few of my favourite things, like The Sound of Music. These are one of my favourite things, is kings on the opposite side of the board fighting against each other. So here came e5. Now this was a mistake, because now if you can see, the rook is attacking the bishop. So I just think I'll take that pawn. And remember what I said before about the wanting of mine to have my rook on this file here, down here, because that would just about be checkmate almost. Just about, but not quite. So that's the good thing about looking at problems. Very good for your chess, looking at your chess problems, because those positions might not ever occur on the board, but they help you with finding things over the board. So very, very, very powerful for your chess is to study or to do problems or puzzles, that sort of thing, as Lee Chess holds one every day. So moving on, there's 1 minute 20 seconds to go on this tournament. So I went fe5, which now entertains rook f5. So if fe5, I'm going to probably take this bishop and think, well, I've got my piece back. I've got rid of this great bishop of blacks, and so black played bishop g4, which is offering to me to clump the bishop. Okay, like take the bishop, but then that's going to open this rook file, half open rook file, onto my king, which is a bit, I don't really want to have that happen. And all of a sudden tactics will prevail, I think, even if it's just double the rooks. But meanwhile, I need to do something with this bishop, and I have to look at this tangly situation here on e5 and f6. So I have to consider all these things, and maybe if I take here, then black might end up with a bishop here, maybe, or bishop here and here, bishop here, sorry, bishop here and here, check, and checkmate with the rooks. Even just about possible, just as it is. So I have to be respectful of black's pieces and minor pieces and queen as well. So I have to be respectful of them. So if I just run ahead and just think, oh, I'm just going to checkmate black on the queen side, I might just lose. Of course, if I do that, then I'm just going to lose my bishop on e2. So I played bishop d3. Now, as you would appreciate, now my rook can go here because the bishop's defending the rook. Okay, so and also I'm attacking this pawn, this knight on g6. Sorry, knight, you're not a pawn, you're a knight. Imagine if there's no rook here and there's no bishop here. Okay, and it's white to move. It's bishop f5 check, queen d7 only move. And what's the next move? It's checkmate in one move. What's the checkmate in one move? Can you see that? Can you visualize that? It's the following. Queen takes knight c6 checkmate. Okay, so this is why visualization is very important in chess. I'm just an A grader. I don't sort of see myself as anything greater than that. And I have my day, and I also don't have my day. Sometimes things don't go, or that game doesn't go well for me, other games do. So bishop d3 now, black went back to f8. Now this isn't probably too bad because black's sort of redeploying his pieces, and maybe, just maybe, he will be able to move that to e6, and then maybe look at doing a counter sacrifice on d4 or something. I'm not sure, but here comes the move ef6. I could just play rook b1 here. That's quite reasonable, but I played ef6, which is possibly not the best move, because now it sort of activates black's bishop a little bit better than what it was just 2 seconds ago. So here's ef6. Excuse me, that's coffee. Bishop f6. Now I develop a move. I develop something, so that's not bad. I'm actually kind of behaving myself. I play bishop f4, and here comes black's second not a developing move, because the knight has already developed, so it doesn't count as a developing move, even though it's coming off the back cush, is knight e6. And here I just think I could play bishop g3 here, but then I might just meet h4, and black's just going one step ahead again, one more step ahead. I don't want to move it after knight e6. I don't want to sort of lose the bishop to capture for a knight f4, rook f4, but I don't want to move it down here anywhere because it just feels pretty lame. I could move it here, okay, I could move it here, but I don't really favour that. I could move my rook here, which is another possibility, and it's probably quite good. Probably is, but it just doesn't get there in the end. Or does it? If I move my rook here, then knight might take bishop. Okay, might. And then rook takes queen, king takes rook, and then this other rook would come into play. Regarding the knight f4, not really, because it's checkmate soon thereafter with rook b1 check. And then the only move or moves are king c8, which is queen c6 check, etc. Or is it checkmate? King a8 is definitely checkmate with queen c6 checkmate. Or if the knight has taken this bishop, then we have knight c7 checkmate. So that's why I like to look at problems, and that's why a lot of chess players like looking at chess problems and that sort of thing, because it just makes your moves a little bit sharper than they will be if you just don't do it. So here's bishop d6, and here's a counter sacrifice, which actually probably aids my game, because the thing is that the rook d6 is like, now we've got now on the position on the board, we've got pawns on d6 for white. We've got the strong post for a knight now again. Okay, so that's one thing. Then we've got a bishop a6 check, which is quite strong. At the moment, this knight is looking after c5, but then when we take this, okay, white will lose this pawn, maybe even lose the other one. So it might not be a bad idea, because then we've got the bishop comes back to d4 check and takes this pawn, maybe, if it's on c5. So moving ahead, now we have got black sort of starts playing very well, I think, or has been playing very well, frankly. Plays rook f8. Oopsie, I've got it wrong again, Dad. Rook f8. Now, I found out after that I probably should have played the other move, but I played the impulse move, which is rook ab1. Maybe I can play just rook fb1 here, so that might be a mistake. It might be, I'm not sure. Knight c5 is possible as well. h3 is another possibility for white here. Just asking the question of the bishop, like, where do you go now? If I go h3, it sort of asks the question of the bishop. And we might get just a big capture on d4 from black. But I think that the position of the king for white is somewhat better, even though it's my game. I think the position for the white king is better than the position of the black king, because this piece here is a very strong piece. So maybe h3 is a good one, because the weaknesses are all around here. Like, this is hard to defend, isn't it? The knight on e6. If I was able to just put a bishop there and it can't get captured, there's no bishop here, but black's got two black squared bishops, sort of thing, then it's just getting a little bit hard and annoying for black to defend it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm actually going for you to look into the position and just imagine certain situations, which is really, really good for your chess because it helps your creativity. So let's say this was a dark squared bishop. This is on here. Black's got two dark squared bishops, and please don't analyse it, because it's probably one if black's got two dark squared bishops on the board. However, if it's a black squared bishop on here, or it's somewhere else, but I don't really want to say that, then bishop here, okay? Now, the moves are rook e8 or knight c d8 or queen b7 or even king d7. So queen d7, queen d7 or king d7 are defensive moves. Then we have a rook move here, okay? Now then we're attacking it twice and it's defended once, so something else happens. So if the knight has gone back here, then all of a sudden black has to look after it with another piece, because it can't move because it's check with the bishop on f5. So after that we have knight, let's say knight cd8, okay? So let's just say the knight cd8 goes back. So we've got a rook on here and a bishop on here. And what do we have? A rook on e8, did we? Can't have that, because then we just got queen e8. So queen e8 check. Not. It's not check, you see, but it's threatening check. We might be able to go bishop e6, rook e6. Oh, save my rook. Hey. Oh, no, not really, because... Did we go bishop e6? If we go rook e6, and then rook e6, then we have queen e8 check. Mate, almost. Knight. Let's say the knight can come here again. And then we have this soft spot e6. So that's just a wee exercise in pinned piece, I'll say. I'll just call it pinned piece. Yeah, that's a good one. Now, moving ahead, rook a b1. So here comes black's extravagant play and sacrifice. Now remember, I've sacrificed a piece. Then my opponent sacrificed an exchange. So, and now my opponent's going to take a pawn with their bishop, with bishop d4. So all of a sudden, I'm not going to move out the way, because that's calamity, even though white can just about get away with it. In fact, white can get away with it. If we look at this position, let's say I move king h1 now, okay? So we'll analyse what happens after that. We'll analyse rook f1 check, and not bishop f1 now, because queen takes rook is looking pretty reasonable for black, although is it? So if you said no, it isn't looking very good, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm thinking about that king position after queen c6, check, king d8. Sort of the only move. King d8. What do we do next? We can go queen a8, and we can go queen a7. That looks like fun, unless the bishop's still on a7. So the bishop might be still looking at a7, see. So if king h1, we can go rook d, we can go rook takes, or we could go bishop takes. So I'm not sure if that's sound, but it looks pretty good fun. It looks like it's real good fun. I want to be able to put the I've got the bishop on f1. It's pinned with the queen on b1. So I want to do that, but that all said, that was just for imagination. I took the bishop. Now came rook f1. Okay. Now everyone can see my move is king f1, but like it's a bit cheeky, really, isn't it? But black's in a terrible mess with their queen side king position. So I can, I've got these comfortable pawns here, and I've got a rook on the b1 square to defend my back rank. So I just went king f1. Okay. I could play rook f1. Excuse me. I could play king f1. I mean bishop f1, rook f1. But that's a different ball game. And then it's black to move, of course. And I think black's still got some possibilities, although they're not very good, are they? Knight E takes d4 after rook f1. Knight E takes d4. Then what would you play for black? For white is, of course, you would play rook f1 to f8 check. And then we have knight c5 check if we so wish, or we have rook takes queen. Okay, so that's not very good, and there's no check, rook takes queen check, because the king can't go to b8. So I played king f1. So other moves for black are knight takes c d4, knight c takes d4, and that is not very good. Why not? We've got this mean position with this rook that's now on where is it? Sorry. Knight C, after rook f1, knight c d4, okay? Then we have some simple moves, and we have some not so easily simple moves to see. One move we've got is, we haven't got knight c5, but we've got queen e8 check. That's the one that's attracting my attention the most, is queen e8. Maybe we've got something even better. What's another better move that you can find after rook f1? What's another move that you can find that might be even better and it's nicer? The thing is I'm not sure quite yet how to finish it off. So I'm thinking of, after knight c d4, I'm thinking of rook f8 check. And you might go, well, hang on, you can just take the rook, because that knight's on e6, remember. Yes, that's correct. So if knight takes rook on f8, knight f8, knight takes f8, then we have just simply, now the knight is on d4, the other knight. Now we simply have just queen to queen to e8 checkmate. Because this knight's here now, it's not, and this knight's here. This knight is here, okay? And this knight is here. And so we can all see that queen e8 is checkmate if knight takes rook. So what about if knight e, or knight d8, because the other knight is on d4? Well, then we could do a couple of things. We could play queen takes knight on d4. So we can go queen takes knight on d4. We can go, I want to find that check. We can go queen c2 check. We can go d7 and queen takes, and we're probably winning. We're probably in a winning position now for just the endgame, just to simplify. So after this, I played king f1, but that was just, again, another exercise in maybe futility. Here's queen f7, so this is a check. So I have to do something about it immediately. So anyone knows, or most chess players know, that there's 3 ways to get out of check, unless it's a knight check. There's only 2 ways to get out of a knight check. There's 3 ways to get out of any other piece or pawn check, or king check. A king can move in, and it can be a discovery check. So anyway, there's first of all, move your king. 2, move something in the way. I'm not going to want to put the bishop in the way. That's the only thing that can go in the way. Or 3, the one that I like most, is take the checking piece, which is the queen in this case. But I can't do it, so I have to move my king. So I play king to g1. Now, I'm still, again, safe on 1 again. Okay? Now, queen d7, and we have a very powerful move for white here. What's that? And you can look at the score, but we have a very powerful move here for white, and it just starts to build up some pressure that black doesn't really want to sort of cope with. I think they said that to me, is this move here. So here it comes, bishop b5. Now this is just really annoying. I think this would be really annoying black. And black's getting down in time, so it went knight d4, which does offer white a couple of roads to go, but also this bishop is now being attacked, isn't it, by the knight on b5, on d4 to b5. There's a soft spot here though, and but I can't just go bishop c6, because then we've got kind of like a swap off. Okay, I can't, sorry, I'm using the wrong screen. Bishop c6, I could go there, and if knight c6, I go rook here. King b7 is no good because of what? King b7 is no good because of the great grand knight check. The queen and king royal fork, and knight takes queen next move. There are no checkmates that white has to worry about, but there are other things here too. Now I can just about play queen takes knight and bishop takes, which I can play that. Bishop, queen takes, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen check, and then we got king d7, capturing the bishop, and then it's an endgame, probably in white's favour, with that rook b7 check and rook g7. So we have now got my next move, which is rook c1. It looks like black can get out of this, but remember that if the king moves to b7, we have that instantaneous move knight c5, which that knight's been sitting there for a very long time now, hasn't it? It's been sitting there for a very long time, like I've been here for a very long time, and I can actually time how long I am. That's good. But now, if knight b5, queen b5, then it's pretty bad for that knight on c6, which is now pinned with the queen and the rook left after knight b5. So black played king d. Played knight b5, queen b5, and this is pretty bad after this move. Now king d8, and then we have not queen b8 check, because that's the sort of thing I might try, but it's not very good. Queen b8 check is pretty bad. Same with I could play knight b8. Okay, I can actually play knight b8, but I thought I better just play rook c6. Now here black is threatened with checkmate, in if it's white to move, it's checkmate in 1, 2, 3, 4 moves by force, and they are queen b8 check, queen c8 only move, we've got rook c8 check, and black has got king d7, so I might be incorrect about that. Then we'll try queen c7 check, king e6. The king's starting to run away a wee bit, but the other line is queen b8, queen c8, which is forced, rook c8, and now comes the divisional move, the division of moves, which is king d7 or bishop c8. Upon bishop c8, we have queen b8 to c7 check, and king e8 and queen e7 checkmate. Okay, so that is where this session ended, or this game ended. Now I want to bring you a problem, and so I'm wondering if I should just play a little bit of chess first, and then I can show this problem to anyone who wants to have a look. So anything could happen here, and it usually does. And I hope your chess gets better and better as time goes on, no matter where it's at right now. I mean, I hope it just improves, improves, improves. Why do I say that? Because I do. That's quite interesting, isn't it? I haven't got to play yet. Stand by, New Zealand Teds. We have pairings. Now I want to show the problem. Now I'll check that my board is on there properly. E4. The second best move on the planet. D4, according to the computer, is the best move. So if anyone wants to have a look at a chess problem, I'm going to show that soon. I'm looking at this one. I can do it on this board too, can't I? Right, what do I have to do now? I have to develop the king. Because otherwise... And now I have this push here for G4. And coaching helps me too. It helps anyone. Usually does. Don't really feel the need to put my bishop there, but I better because I'm talking about development is very important in chess. Now I'm just going to I'm going to build up on F5, and by the way, tomorrow at 11 AM New Zealand time I come on to Twitch, and so I've set the date, I've set the times, Saturdays. That's when I used to do music school. Now Black's just gone and hidden all my F-file activity. So I'm going to do these files. Oops. I'm going to do these files. And now I can still play F5, you see. Now Black, there's going to be a bit of give and take here because White could be met with Bishop E5 check or something similar. And do I play Bishop F4? I think I do. I can play after Gf5, I can play Bishop D5 and then take on Fe5. Here I'm going to take this and this will come off. And where to now? Go here, I think. Here. Not sure where this is going really, but I'm going to try and get some viewers so I can then not sure where this is going. You're on a holiday. It might just peter out to an endgame a little bit better for White. That's probably improved my position, if anything. I go into a white square because that's where my bishop is. So my white squares are a wee bit strong. And I better stop talking because I'm losing on time. Okay, oh well, that's good, thank you. So if anyone's watching, if you want to have a look at this problem, and I'm going to share this on Facebook, I mean on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll probably put it on Facebook to say, look at me, 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 look at me. But anyway, that's quite a reasonable game to play. I'm going to pause in case it decides to put me back into the tournament. And now I'm going to find my chess position for you. And I might go see if I can go to Facebook. I don't know if it'll turn up on Facebook. We'll go to, maybe I'll go to Facebook. So I'll see if I can go to Facebook on here, or whether it's going to. Now here's my profile, of course, which is my name. So I'm going to go to Facebook. Sorry, I'm going to go to Facebook, aren't I? Or can I just share what is my screen? Where am I? Why has no one asked me yet about the position? So I'm going to go to me, okay. And here is this position, okay. White gives checkmate in 2 moves. So if you want to, I wouldn't mind some sort of ideas of what you have for white here. And then this will be self-exterminating after that time. White gives checkmate. Chess, white gives checkmate. The reason I say chess is because sometimes people say this is chess for chess players out there, but obviously it's chess. White gives checkmate in 2 moves. White to move. I might have to edit that. I'll just edit that, I think. Where's the edit now? What am I doing here? What's that? I can't find it at the moment. I just want to edit the post. Why can't I find just edit my post? Oh no, it's gone away. So anyway, this is the problem I'm going to give, and if anyone wants to sort of try and work it out, then that's good. And I'm going to finish the stream now, and so it's going to be shared on YouTube. And so this position here, you have to find the move for white that checkmates in all variations black in 2 moves.